Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, something that I want to try out and possibly do month to month, and that is examine my pull list for comics across Marvel and DC and indie, the few indie books that I'm going to end up having. And every month at the end, take a look at everything and then kind of rank the books on my pull list, and month to month we can see trends if books are going down and up. I think that would be really sick. And of course, a lot of the series I am collecting, especially from Marvel, are limited series, so there's going to be stuff dropping off the pull list coming on the pull list. We'll just have to see what happens. But we're nearing the end of January here. Literally tomorrow, as I'm recording it, this video, it's the 30th. So yeah, it's the end here. Let's take a look at everything that came out this month and see where we're at. All right, so January 1st, I'm looking off to the side because I have Comic Geeks pulled up, was January 1st was a big day. Not only was it the start of 2025, but we had a banger release of Absolute Superman number 3, which came out, and also Batgirl number 3. Now, just to give my little review here, starting up, also off topic, not really, but another point of this video is I want to have an opportunity to talk about the single issues that I am pulling every week, or every month rather. Well, I guess every week, but for specific series it's every month. Because otherwise I don't really want to make content about single issues. I just don't think that that's really necessary unless it's something truly special. But this kind of video will give me the opportunity to relay my thoughts and opinions about specific series. So with Absolute Superman, it has been great. I'm loving the Absolute universe. I think number 3 has probably been the strongest issue so far. It was really good, and I liked where it ended. There's definitely a big mystery of what could possibly go down here next week with issue 4 drops. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens with that. That's one of my most anticipated series. And then looking at Batgirl number 3, I did pick up the cardstock variant with her holding like the katana, because I could not resist that cover. That is just so freaking sick. But as far as the contents that are inside, Batgirl has been fun. I kind of originally just picked it up because I wanted some more DC on my pull list that wasn't Absolute Universe. Most of the stuff that I pick up for DC is either Absolute or Elseworlds or something that's not main continuity, and I kind of wanted something main continuity on my pull list. So I just chose Batgirl on a whim because it looked kind of cool. I don't know a whole lot about Batgirl, but I like Batman. And it has been fun. I think Cassandra Cain as a character is interesting, and I like her. But yeah, not a whole lot has happened. It's sort of like a John Wick kind of feel to it. Obviously not as violent, but yeah, that's sort of the vibes I'm kind of getting right now, as her and her mother, Lady Shiva, are fighting off these ninja goons. But yeah, no, it's just been fun, but it hasn't blown me away whatsoever. Now, moving on to the 8th of January, week 2 of 2025, let's see what we got. Absolute Batman number 4. Overall, I enjoyed it, but this little backstory issue is probably the weakest issue of the whole series so far. I think exploring this Batman's kind of unique backstory was fun, but I really want to continue with the plot of what's happening in like the current timeline. Everything happening with Black Mask through issues 1 through 3 has just been super interesting, and I kind of want to get more further into that because issue 3 ended on a dope cliffhanger. So yeah, I'm hoping issue 5, I can't wait for that. And yeah, I hope we see what happens there. But issue 4 was not bad, but for this month, it definitely put Batman a little lower than usual, just because of that backstory. And like it didn't follow up on the cliffhanger, so I don't know. It was okay. I enjoyed it, but moving on, we have a Daredevil Unleash Hell Red Band number 1. I enjoyed it. I think a lot of these Red Band series are kind of gimmicky. A lot of time the Red Band nature of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it'll be violent and gory, but there are some main continuity series that are, I feel like, just as violent, so it's like, why am I even bothering? And then the whole idea of the Red Bands, I think I've talked about this before, but was that they wouldn't be printed later on. The only way to read the Red Bands was through the single issue print runs. And yeah, but now they've gone back on that too, and now they're printing trades of the Red Band stuff. So originally there was like a reason for me to pick these up, but not really anymore. I might stick out the Daredevil one, but I might also drop it from the pull list. We'll see how issue 2 is. I think maybe that comes out next week. I'm not sure. Or if not, the week after. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Marvel has been doing a lot of stuff lately that I think is just fucking mid, honestly. Like, they're making series for some of the coolest characters. They have so many cool ideas in their pocket, but just the execution just hasn't really blown me away with any of it. It's just been like passable, like this is cool, but nothing like truly great, I think. So especially with this next one, Magic, something I was super excited for because I like the character of Magic. I think she is super cool, but just in this first issue, they're setting up some interesting things, but I mean, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it just seemed kind of corny, and I wasn't really vibing with it. I'm gonna continue to pick it up. Again, I love Magic as a character, and I mean, anything with her on it, I mean, these covers are gonna be dope. So yeah, I'll continue to read Magic, but yeah, it was overall pretty disappointing. Now, moving on to January 15th, I only had one book on my pull list this week, or that week, and that was Ultimate Wolverine, which, let me tell you, was freaking dope. I gave that like a 5 stars on Comic Geeks when I rated it. Just a fantastic read. I love what they're doing with Absolute, love what they're doing with the Ultimate Universe. It just raises so many questions, especially how this Wolverine is going to tie in with the X-Men, and then how this like old X-Men group might cross over a little bit with Ultimate X-Men. And I'll touch more on the Ultimate X-Men here soon, because I did read that new issue yesterday. But yeah, Ultimate Wolverine was, it was violent. It was just badass, because this version of Wolverine as the Winter Soldier is just awesome. And again, I mean, with this, how violent this issue was, again, it begs the question, why is the Red Band a thing? Like, this is a non-Red Band series that's just as violent, if not more violent than some of the Red Band stuff, because I swear some of those Red Band issues aren't even violent. They just have Red Band on it. I don't know what they're doing, honestly, but yeah, Ultimate Wolverine was just fantastic, and I'm very excited to continue with it. Now, moving on to the 22nd. This was a big week, just because I picked up a couple of things that I wasn't really planning on. For things that I wasn't planning on, I did pick up the Ninja Turtles Naruto crossover thing, issue 2. I never got issue 1. I just never found it, so I didn't pick it up. But I found issue 2, and I dug the cover. It has my boy Donnie, who's my favorite turtle, and just Naruto on it, so I just kind of picked it up for the cover. Same with, I did pick up Absolute Wonder Woman issue 4, and then that week also had a really cool variant that I picked up, so it was a little bit bigger than what it really should have been. But let's talk about Absolute Wonder Woman here for a second. It was really good. I think Absolute Wonder Woman as a whole has been pretty good. Overall, though, it's been the weakest of the three absolutes, and I did a review on the Absolute universe so far. You could go check out that video. I'll leave a link in the description if I remember. But yeah, I did that video when it was just 3 issues of each, and at that point I think it was the weakest. But after this issue, something just crazy awesome happens, and I felt like it flipped a switch, and it might be one of the better ones now. It might be better. I don't think it's better than Batman, but it definitely might be better than Superman in its current state. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the Absolute universe as a whole, but Absolute Wonder Woman issue 4 was straight gas. Now let's talk about Blade issue 4, or the Blade Red Band. Man, I've really been enjoying it. With comics, I was picking up stuff for a minute and then not actually reading it, just kind of holding on to it. And I went back and I read through a lot of the stuff I hadn't read before that I had picked up. And when I got to Blade, by the time I got to it, I was a little disappointed with everything else that I've read, so I didn't go into it with high hopes. But I started reading it, and that shit is banging. I'm very excited for the Blade Red Band. It has just been awesome. And I like Blade as a character in general. That's why I started picking it up. Again, the Red Band aspect, it hasn't been super violent, which is kind of weird because it's like vampires and stuff. This issue definitely was more violent than a lot of them. But yeah, the plot has just been interesting. Like, it has been written well. I wish comic issues were longer than they are. That's the only gripe I have about comics, is week to week they're really short, which I suppose is kind of the point. But like, I don't know, I would enjoy if they were just like a little bit longer every week. But yeah, Blade has just been awesome and is one of my favorite currently serializing series. Next up, we have Helverine. Helverine was one of those series that was, again, kind of disappointing. I enjoyed issue 1, and we're talking about the new one with Daken. I have all of the original run. I say original run, but the one from last spring and summer with Logan. I have that one. I just haven't gotten around to reading it yet. But this new one with Daken, the first issue was okay. Again, it was a little disappointing. It was a little cheesy. But this second issue is kind of sick. I won't lie. It definitely improved upon the first issue. So I am interested to see what ends up happening. But yeah, again, this is another one of those series that was just kind of iffy for me. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens, because I think the idea of Helverine is super cool. Just how it's been executed has been a little meh. But yeah, these things with like the hell portals and stuff, and like the weird almost like totems that are built of, like, I don't know, like it's got some like body horror elements to it, where it's like built of like skeletons that are all twisted and mangled, and I don't know, it's pretty sick. Yeah, it reminds me almost of like Diablo or something, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that series. Now, the last thing I have this week, or that week, was Wolverine Revenge Red Band number 4. I actually haven't been reading the Wolverine Revenge Red Bands. I'm sure I'll like it. Maybe I won't, but I've kind of been waiting on that one. That's one that I wanted to binge once the entire series is out. So I've been picking it up since it came out. When was that? Probably back in August, I think. July or August. So yeah, this has been kind of a slow series to come out. I think it's like maybe one every 2 months or something. And for that reason, I just kind of haven't really been reading it. Yeah, I'm just going to wait until it wraps up, because I think it's only 5 issues. And lastly, let's talk about yesterday, the 29th. I went and I picked up Psylocke number 3. Psylocke, I actually haven't read yet. I was originally going to read the first 2 issues, and then I was waiting for issue 3. I might still read the first 3 issues, but another one of those mini series, I might just wait until I read the 5 issues. So I can't really comment on that, but I really like Psylocke. She's one of my favorite mutants. But I just have not read the solo series yet, so I'm hoping it falls into the Blade category, where I don't go in with super high hopes, and it end up being pretty good. I hope it doesn't fall into the same category as Magic, where it's a character that I like and it ends up being really fucking mid. But yeah, I do have high hopes for that one. I just hope they don't get crushed. And then we've got Ultimate X-Men, number 11. What do I even say about Ultimate X-Men? I really enjoy it. I like what's happening with Ultimate X-Men. I think Peach Momoko is doing a great job with the art, and the story has been great. I do think that it's getting a little convoluted, though, especially when you read it monthly, and they typically come out at the very end of the month. So there's like a lot of time in between issues, it feels like. Maybe if it came out in the middle of the month so you don't have to wait as long. Well, it's the same amount of time you're having to wait, but I guess maybe it just won't feel as long. I don't know. But it's getting a little convoluted to the point where, because you're waiting that month, it becomes a little hard to follow. And yeah, I did not go back and read issue 10. I probably should have, but I really don't know what's happening in this series right now. It's one of those ones where I might just have to wait and go reread it every time. But I mean, I get the idea. It's just like shit's just going over my head, I'm really liking what's happening. I just don't know what's happening, if you know what I mean. But I can't wait for the trade for number 2, or trade volume 2 to come out. So that way, because I have the first trade, and if I have the second trade, it would just make it way easier to just reference back and reread old portions of it. Yeah, so I'm kind of waiting on that trade to come out in May, I believe. But yeah, I mean, I like what's happening. It's just been a little convoluted. Alright, so let's go back and sort of rank these. So for the 2 things that I haven't read yet that are on my pull list, I have Psylocke and Wolverine Revenge. So those are going to continue to be unranked until I read them and get caught up with them. So as far as the rest of the stuff, coming in at number 10, the thing that I'm probably enjoying the least, sadly, is going to be Magic. That first issue just did not really grab me. So I'm hoping issue 2 does, because, again, character I really enjoy. Just hope they do her justice. Coming in at number 9, we have Daredevil. Again, it was interesting, a little cheesy, but yeah, I'm hoping that it gets a little better. Because it's in issue 1 and the red band shit doesn't really matter anymore, I might end up dropping it off the pull list. We'll just have to see. I'll give it till issue 2, but then I might need to make a business decision. Coming in at number 8 is Batgirl. Just in a series that I've been having fun with. It hasn't been super spectacular, but the art's great. I like the character of Batgirl a lot, at least this version of her. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's just been kind of fun, so nothing too great. Usually sits around 3.5 stars, kind of mid, but I'm enjoying it. So coming in at number 7 is Helverine. Again, the first issue did not blow me away. The first issue was kind of sitting in the same position as Batgirl, where it was like decently fun. Like it was, a Wolverine. It was Daken, fighting demons with hell powers. Like that's right up my alley. But it just felt like it was lacking substance. But the second issue definitely helped it and brought it up to number 7. Number 6 is Ultimate X-Men. A little disappointing, honestly. It has been great. I like the series, but just because it's been hard to follow month to month, I had to bring it down a little bit. But I mean, I'm sure the series as a whole would rank higher, but just these issues, it's kind of hard to remember what's happening because the plot's a little convoluted and confusing. Coming in at number 5 is Blade. It's just been an underdog to me. It's standing out a lot. It's one that I don't have a problem remembering what's been happening month to month. Yeah, it's just been fun. It's been pretty violent. Blade is badass. You got this baddie chick who's helping Blade fight, vampires, and they've got this Roman legionnaire that became a vampire and is like damn near immortal, right? That they're trying to go after. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying what's happening with Blade right now. It's been honestly great. So coming in at number 4, I mean, these last few are all Ultimate and Absolute, just because I've been enjoying those a lot. Coming in at number 4 is Absolute Superman. I originally would rank it higher than number 3, but that last issue of what's at number 3 really stepped up the game. So Absolute Superman, I have no doubt, is going to end up being better, just because Superman is that guy, and this version of Superman is really interesting. But yeah, so far, not a whole lot has happened. I definitely want to give that series time to cook. But yeah, it's currently sitting at number 4. Number 3, Absolute Wonder Woman. Like I said, something crazy happened in issue 4. So if you guys haven't read it, you know. If you know, you know. But yeah, the little fight that happens and what Wonder Woman does just blew me away. Did not see that coming, and it was super dope. So yeah, that definitely raised the stakes and raised the coolness factor for me. And coming in at number 2, I have Absolute Batman. Otherwise, it wouldn't be number 1. But that backstory issue definitely brought it down just a little bit. But I'm sure as it continues, it's gonna bounce back, and it's gonna go back to being number 1 for me. And then number 1 for the month of January, I have Ultimate Wolverine. As you guys can see, I'm a huge Wolverine fan, so I'm a little bit biased. But that first issue was damn near perfect. And if it continues that way, it's going to have to fight Batman for my number 1. Yeah, I mean, it was just fantastic for a first issue. It was a super quick read just because it's action-packed. It was so badass, though, and just leaves so many unanswered questions about Wolverine himself and just the greater Ultimate Universe and what's going on in the background. Yeah, it's just so mysterious and it's dope. So that is my rankings for as of January 2025 of everything on my pull list. Let's go ahead and take a look at February, just a little sneak preview, and see what is popping. Now, I already know February is going to be a banger. So starting us off, I'm going to kind of speed through these here. Coming out next week, the 5th of February, we do have Absolute Superman number 4. Can't wait for that. Hopefully, with number 4, we start to get a little bit out of the backstory stuff and back into the present. I think that's something that has sort of brought the series down a little bit. Is we've been focusing a lot on backstory, which I like, but at the same time, the plot progression hasn't been great. Then we also have number 4, Batgirl. Again, I don't have super high hopes. It's just been a fun read. But these covers have been amazing. The art's been great. Can't wait for that. Now, the 12th, which is week 2 of February, Absolute Batman number 5. Like I said, one of my favorite series out right now. Magic number 2. Hopefully it's better than issue 1. That's all I can really say about that. The cover's cool. But yeah, I don't have high hopes for Magic number 2, sadly, because issue 1 disappointed me, but hopefully it's better and falls into the Helverine category. And then we have Psylocke number 4. Again, cover looks awesome. Haven't read it, so I might catch up by then. We'll see if I read issues 1 through 3 by then. If not, I'll probably wait for the series to wrap up, and that just be one that I keep on the back burner. Next week after that, Daredevil, Unleash Hell, Red Band number 2. Again, might drop the series off my pull list. We'll see how I'm feeling about the series between now and then. I might give it that issue 2 just to see. But yeah, now that these red bands don't really matter anymore because they're going to be collected anyway, it does not make me feel good about that. So it kind of takes away the whole pull aspect for me, like any sense of urgency, I guess. So especially if it just isn't spectacular. So yeah, we about saving money in this household, so I don't know, we'll see about that one. But also that week we have Ultimate Wolverine number 2, which that cover looks sick, and there might be a fight that happens there. I'm very interested in what happens with that series moving forward. Again, I expressed that it's my number 1 this month. So yeah, very excited and see if it keeps up the steam. And then we have a new contender that week as well, Zatanna, number 1. I'm not super familiar with Zatanna, I'll be the first to admit. She is just a very interesting looking character, especially with like her magic and stuff that she does. She sort of falls into a similar category with Constantine, and I know Constantine plays a role in the Zatanna Bring Down the House Black Label series, which can't wait for it to be collected. I mean, that also comes out in March, which, man, I'm excited for. But yeah, I want to check out a new DC ongoing, put it on my pull list, main continuity. So we'll see how number 1 performs in the rankings next month. But yeah, again, awesome cover, and I'm excited. And then the 26th of February, which I believe, yeah, is the last week. This one's going to slap. We got Absolute Wonder Woman number 5. Again, with how issue 4 ended, I'm just interested to see what happens. Blade, Red Band number 5. Again, Blade has been awesome, so that's also going to slap. Helverine number 3. I mean, let's see if it keeps up the steam. If it goes back to being kind of mid, I might drop it, but I feel like for it being a 5-issue miniseries, I might as well just keep it up and see what happens. Not too sure, but we'll see. And then also Ultimate X-Men number 12. Gonna have to see what happens with that. Will I have to reread the last 3 issues when I get around to it? Probably. Will I? Probably not. I will probably stay confused. But yeah, maybe this next week or so I'll go back and reread some of it and see if it clicks with me. But yeah, that is gonna be February, y'all. Just a little quick run through. Tune in next month to see my thoughts. We've got a new contender in the mix, and let's just see how the rankings change. But yeah, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, you can leave a like, maybe subscribe if you feel like it. No pressure. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.